Graham, good to see you. Can we start with your team news, please? How's Aidan Baldwin after Saturday?
He's gone for a scan at 12 o'clock, so we'll find out at some point today if there's any further damage. Obviously, he had to come off on Saturday, so fingers crossed from the scan. But until we get that the result, we don't really know.
And Tommy Lee, after being ill at half-time, has Tommy recovered all right?
Yeah, he's trained today, so it's just about him replenishing the energy he's lost over the weekend. You know, I don't think he ate too much on. Well, he didn't eat at all on Saturday after the game, and then Sunday was a bit ropey for him. But I think he's feeling a lot better. He trained today, so we'll see how he is in the morning.
Any other fresh concerns heading into tomorrow?
No. I think everyone, normal competitive bumps and bruises from Saturday, but everyone's trained this morning that we expected to train. So fingers crossed they're all okay tomorrow, and we've got a good competitive squad to choose from.
Good stuff. One of the things we were discussing after the game on Saturday, and people were calling us and saying what they're loving about your team at the moment, they can really see an identity, just you and everyone connected. How hard have you all worked as a collective to stamp that on this team?
Yeah, we have, because I think it just brings clarity to the players. I think we want to make their job as easy as possible to understand, so they go onto a pitch with no doubt. You know, I don't like that. I think it can hold you back. I think it slows your game up if there's a doubt, if there's a question mark where you should be or what you should be doing. If you've got that instinct that you know straight away, I think it just speeds the game up. And I think the better teams always play at a quicker tempo. And I think the players have understood. We've been really fortunate with we had 8 new players on day 1 of pre-season. So we had a lot of time to work with them in pre-season. And I think they're intelligent guys, and we do a lot of analysis work with them, because certainly when we were playing Saturday, Tuesday for so many weeks, the actual training time is quite limited. So we do a lot of work analysis-wise with individuals, with groups, with the whole team, just to give them clear pictures of what we're about. And I think, but there's outside of the technical and the tactical side of it, there's a feeling that we want to generate around the team, and a feeling that they can go on the pitch and express themselves, and they're always connected to each other. And I think the players have took that on board really well. I think we had a really good base to start from last season, and there's still room for improvement, as we're just going through clips this morning. There's always things we can be better at, but the players have done well so far.
We're just chatting to Nick Powell, and he said coming in, it feels the messaging is very consistent. Everyone's on the same page. I mean, that must be massive.
Yeah, I think so. I think I spoke many times when we first came in at Bradford about the need for consistency on the pitch, and so I think whatever you want on the pitch, you have to sort of practice and be. Day in, day out, so it's forming good habits and good behaviour. So I think we've been relatively consistent with how we do things. The players know what to expect from us most days, and but we just like clarity from that side of it. And I think it gives us a base when things go wrong or we don't win a game, like a couple of weeks ago at Doncaster. We knew exactly where to fix it. We knew exactly what our game should look like. We knew it didn't look like that in that particular first half, but we could identify straight away what it was, and then obviously try and put it into action in the week leading up to the next 2 games. And obviously the players have took it forward from there.
I know you don't like singling out players, but Josh Newol's come in for a lot of praise on our programmes during the week and after the game. Yeah. Just how much impact has he had on your side, and what does he bring to your side?
He's got great enthusiasm. I think he's I could see that from his games last season when we watched him play, but just as a person, he wants to be out there every day, he wants to train, he fully commits to the session, as do so many other players. But I think he's quite a determined young man that wants to have a really good career and knows he has to work hard at it. I think he wants to defend, I think he wants to attack, and that's our whole team really, but certainly in the wing back positions. And we play in a way that we feel he feels comfortable at doing, and as the other players. So he's been a really good addition. I think he's a really popular lad with his teammates because he's consistent in what he does. He commits to everything.
How's the mood been then going into tomorrow? Is it any different? Do you prepare any different, knowing that you're going up to a Big Six team like Newcastle?
No, because then I'd be going against consistency, wouldn't I? So it's we've always tried to have that balance here at Bradford. I think it's we know how emotional the club has been. When previous seasons in League Two, really frustrating sort of environment. So we wanted to keep a balance on our behaviours, on our moods, and bring that into the training ground, so we could sort of permeate through the whole club. And I think the players understand that we're here to do a job, that we've got a great opportunity. It's another game of football that we want to do well in and show of our best. So I didn't notice anything different. I didn't feel any different this morning. It was just a regular first day back in training, reviewing a little bit from the last game, and then tomorrow we'll look forward to tomorrow. We have tomorrow's game. We haven't really gone too much overboard on what we're going to do tomorrow night, because pretty much we try to stick to what we're good at, and I think trying to change to go up against a real good opponent, there's no point in me denying that, but us going away from our normal game, I think, weakens us. So I think we have to keep as much of our game intact as possible, but it'll be a test regardless of that, because we're playing an exceptional team.
And you mentioned in recent years support, frustration, and you, Chris, your staff, all the players, all the hard work you've put in to get to where the club is now. I mean, in a way, is a game like tomorrow a reward for all that hard work and the supporters sticking by you?
A little bit, because it is a game that's different from the norm. It's not every day you play a top Premier League team full of internationals, and certainly at their place, full house and everything. So it's we're not going to pretend it's the whole occasion is the same as what we've been doing over the last 18 months. But that said, it's still a game of football that we want to be competitive in. So our ambitions don't change, our approach doesn't change, but I think the players have shown great confidence in what we are as a team and what we do, and we have to maintain that. But every game is a test. All the games we've played this season have been real tough tests for us to overcome, and obviously tomorrow night will be another one of those.
I know in your career, I think that's when you were at Burnley, you played against Arsenal, Spurs in those semi-finals at Burnley. When you go into those kind of games and you're playing against real top quality opposition, I mean, when you're in the thick of the game, are the differences noticeable in the game, or can you tune out from that?
No, the differences are, and I just mentioned it before, is the speed. The speed of their decisions, the speed of their control, the speed of the actual athlete that you're playing against. That's the one thing I noticed anyway, but I was getting on when I got to that level. So, but you do. I think, you can, when you come up against players or teams, you actually, I think, what I remember from my playing career was you always aspire to play against these players and stuff, and then when you do, you actually realise why they're at that level. You think, it's you can see why they've consistently been Premier League players for 10 years or 12 years or whatever it is, or internationals. But then you have to start thinking about, well, how do I compete against this guy? How do I compete against this team? And that's what we're continually doing. Did that all the way from a career. How do I compete against faster players, taller players, more skillful players? And it was always trying to find a strategy and a tactic that would help me win my duels against a player. And I think we try to do that as a team. And but the players know how we want to play, and we're good players as well. We have many good players in that squad, and that some aspire to be at this level at some point. I hope they all do, regardless of their age. And this is the type of opportunity and test that you go, well, this is where I see where I am, and whether it's potentially realistic. So I think I want the players to go to game and have the same ambition, but the same mentality is, I'm going to be the best teammate for the guy next to me. Not, I have to prove this to anybody else. It's just go and be the best teammate for the man next to you, for the man in front of you. If we do that, which we do regularly, then it gives us the best chance of winning.
And on Newcastle, they're the joint second lowest scorers in the Premier League so far this season. I know we're only a handful of games in. I mean, when you are preparing for that game, does that come into it, or because of the difference in league level, is it kind of irrelevant?
Yeah, it's irrelevant because look, we just played Cardiff and they hadn't conceded and hadn't lost a game. But I said that after that, we didn't. That was not that on any part of our pre-match talks, our meetings or anything. It was just about, these are our threats, these are what we're good at, this is what they might do. What they might do, not what they've done in the previous 5 games, this, that, the other. And I think it's the same, they are at a great level, and they've got many great players, top manager. So them being second, I didn't even know that until you told me, but second highest scores in the Premier League, still in the Premier League, you know what I mean? And I don't know how many games they played in the Premier League, 5 is it, or something like that, so 4. It doesn't mean anything to us. It's not going to affect our game. They've got top players all throughout that squad. We have to be at our best to make sure we're competitive tomorrow.
And Eddie Howe came into Burnley, didn't he, in your final few months there? I mean, I know it was a long time ago, but what was he like back then? And did you sit in that dressing room think he could really go to the top in management?
No, I was fighting my own fight to get in the team at the time, to be honest. I didn't really think that far ahead. I was a footballer that was selfish, that was like... my career is I was a captain at the club, and I'd played regular for the previous 20 years, and there's one time really the period that I didn't start a game, so it was a really, really difficult period for me. I think it was, and I don't think I helped Eddie, to be honest, because I was the captain, but I was fighting to be in the team. I don't think I handled that whole period very well from my perspective, so I don't think we were the best of friends at that particular time. But I remember when I got my, when I did leave, and then when I got my first job as a manager, one of the first people that sent me a really nice message was Eddie. And you know, we've been in contact since then, not regular, but over the last few years. I think he's a top manager. Yeah, he's proven that. He doesn't have to prove it anymore. I don't have to speak about what he is. His record speaks for itself. The job he did at Bournemouth was phenomenal. And he's at an absolute top club now, and winning trophies and taking into the Champions League. It's the challenge there. So I'm delighted for him, because I think he is a good guy. I think it was just a clash of two people that wanted different things. He was trying to form a new team at Burnley. I was part of the old one. So it was one of those. But listen, as soon as I became manager, I understood the scenario that he would have been going through at the same time. So I'm looking forward to seeing him again.
And just to bring it back round to you guys, I mean, I know you'll have your ambitions, go in there, play how you play, stamp your identity on it. But I guess fundamentally, looking at it, you know, the highs don't come around a lot in football. Is the message really try and enjoy it?
Try and be competitive and just be ourselves. That's the biggest thing I ask for the players all the time. Even when I think about going into the last game of the season last year, when it was all riding on that game, it was be us. That's I want us to feel proud of what we are as a team, what we are as characters and personalities, and have something that's tangible for us. And I think every game of football, listen, we're competitors at the end of the day. I said it on Saturday after the game against Cardiff. We're not on tour. You know, we're not sightseers. We're competitors. We're professionals. So we have to have that approach in everything we do. And I believe if you do your best in training, you do your best in a game, that's the most you can ask for. And you can go home content that you've competed at your best level. It doesn't guarantee a result either way. But I know in the long term it will get you more wins than it doesn't. So that's all I'm looking for from each individual and my group. Okay, mate.
We've heard a lot in the last couple of days, particularly about teams having more time to recover and whatever. You played 24 hours before Newcastle over the weekend. Can that make a difference?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's really early in the season. I think we're not at the same level of football. They're a top Premier League team. We're a newly promoted League One team. So the difference of 24 hours, 12 hours in between fixtures, I think it happens all the time now. I think we're playing next Thursday, aren't we, against Rotherham? So the fixture lists now are all over the place. You know, midweek games, Sunday games, Saturday evening games now. So I think players just have to get the recovery in. They have to understand and learn how to recover really quickly and be prepared for the next game. So I think it's gone away now from the Saturday, Tuesday, you know, week in, week out. The fixtures are all over the place. So I don't think it'll have any bearing on the game at all. And
after his comeback against Grimsby, Andy Cook said this was the game he'd been targeting for being a Newcastle fan.
Yeah.
How's he been all week? Have you noticed the excitement, the will to be involved in this game?
I haven't noticed anything. Cookie's as mad as he always is, to be honest. So he's loud, he's bubbly around the place. So I haven't seen a difference in his demeanour on the training pitch. He's trained as well as he always does. He's still recovering from like the injury that he suffered in January. But yeah, he's going to be part of the squad. I know how much his support for Newcastle means to him. But the game's about two teams. It's not about individuals. And I think Cookie's well aware of that as well. I don't think he wants it to be about him. He wants to be part of a team that goes to his boyhood club and competes. So I think it's always good for players. I remember playing against my boyhood club Coventry a few times. I really enjoyed it. It felt different because I grew up supporting those teams, or that team, and Cookie's the same. So. But like everyone else, we're all looking forward to the game. He'll have to put any personal things to the side, and if he's on the pitch, he'll have to do his best for his teammates. That's all I'd expect from any of our pros.
Cheers.
Okay, mate.
Saying if Andy sort of sat behind you on the dugout, and there's going to be others on the dugout, they're all going to be desperate to get on there. When you sort of sense there might be a sort of looming presence, eyes boring into the back of your head, thinking, come on.
Well, I'm used to that as a manager. It's not just players that bore their looks into the back of my head. Sometimes fans as well. So now I'm in my own world when I'm out there on the touchline. Thinking about how to win a game and stuff like that. And if Cookie comes into my ideas and my thoughts about how to win a game of football, then we know he's there to be called upon, whether he starts the game or he's on the bench. So it's but we have many good players in that. I'm never going to take personal ambitions or personal ideals into how I pick a team to win a game of football. From the start or off the bench, it'd be wrong of me, and I'd be dismissing my responsibility to the club and to the team and to the supporters about what my job entails, and it's about the group, the collective, being the best it can. But it's I understand the emotional side of football. I understand the emotional side of Cookie, that he's had a long career, and it's not many opportunities you get to play in a game of this magnitude against your boyhood club. But if I went down that road, I'd be going down that road with different people every week, and it's not one that's leads to any good, I don't believe.
So all the players obviously buzzing about this opportunity. As a manager, say you never got a chance to play there. I mean, as a manager on that touchline, is it something you're sort of, has it got an extra sort of excitement there because of the stage and the arena? Sort of?
Yeah, I think so. I think I've got that on Saturday. I get it at Valley Parade when it's packed with 24,000. I think I've said it many times. When you're a young boy and you want to play football, you imagine it in your head. You imagine in full stadiums, aren't you? You're not, imagining playing in front of one man and his dog, and you go into the biggest stage. So when you're professional, that's where you want to be. You want to prove yourself at different levels. But for me, I get excited watching my team play and compete all the time. Honestly, I get excited watching them train. I know it's a bit sad, but when I see good things and I see good attitudes and some real skillful football and goals going in or blocks and everything, I buzz off that every day. I love the game. I love the way my team and my players especially commit to a game of football. So we don't need that to be at our top level, but I just think it does add an extra bit of spice to a game of football that we it gives you a taste of the big time, really, and ultimately that's what we all chase throughout our career. We want to play at the highest level or manage at the highest level, and they don't get much higher than St James's Park.
I was going to say, because you could have drawn another Premier League side away and there might have been a half-empty ground, but the thing with St James's Park, there's going to be 52,000 there for a third round tie, so it's it's as you imagine and you hoped it would be, isn't it?
Yeah, amazing. It's I spoke, I think it was you, Simon, a week ago or so, and talking about the passion that Newcastle fans have for their club and everything. And look, they've got much bigger numbers than us at Bradford, but I don't think their passion is any bigger than what our supporters have for their club as well. But when you get two passionate sets of supporters going up together in one stadium and it is full, then we know the atmospheres it creates. We could see at Valley Parade last week when it was us against Huddersfield. It was a packed house. They brought their numbers. We obviously responded. It was a brilliant atmosphere for us to play in. And I love that my players just played the game. They didn't play the occasion. They didn't do anything different. I thought that's strange. That's out of sync with what we do. They just went and played the game of football as we did on Saturday, and that's all we're looking for from tomorrow. But it's an iconic stadium, iconic club, and they're in a real rich vein of of their, not form, but of their history, really. With winning trophies, being in the Champions League. So I think it's a great test, obviously, for us, but I think it's going to be a game that's bouncing, and hopefully we can contribute to that as well.
And you said, obviously, it's early season. I mean, you've played 12 games already. I think Newcastle 5 or 6. I mean, does that come into it at all? Because obviously they've had an international break as well, so it's been sort of a little bit, then a stop, then a little bit again. Whereas your team have had 2 months and you're sort of in the flow of it. Does that sort of perhaps level things a little bit in terms of the playing field?
No, I don't. Honestly, I think. Because you can look at it two ways. You can say we're in the groove. We're playing every 3 days, or you say they're more rested because they have time in between. There's so many individuals that have been away with internationals and stuff during the summer. You don't know.
They're still playing, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I don't think it comes down to it. I think when it comes down to a 90-minute game, I think it's about actions that happen in the game. Moments and events that dictate the sort of sway of the game and stuff. And I think every player that takes to the pitch on both sides will be motivated to play. They're playing in front of 50,000 home fans. We're playing a massive team away from home. So I think the motivation from both teams will be high. We know their qualities, but I believe in my players. I want my players to believe in themselves, in each other. And that's the biggest thing for me, is always focusing on ourselves more than anyone else.
Just going to ask very briefly about Aiden. What was the actual issue with Aiden? Because you said at the time you weren't.
Yeah, he got a kick on his calf through the game, and then he just got a bit sore as it went along, and then he just had a sharp pain. So it was a gradual thing that came on. So he just felt if he continued, it would just get worse. So
it's nothing to do with the knee.
No. It was nothing to do with that. So the scan's not on his knee at all. So that's why he was. I think he was really down, because I think he's managed his knee really well. But then it's something else, and so fingers crossed he's okay. But I don't think he'll be available for tomorrow.
I mean, hopefully you'll get a result, Graham. But is it important to get something out of it the night, the performance? I mean, I remember when you went to Birmingham, you sort of got edged out there, but you took so much from that night, a full house, proper atmosphere, and hopefully doing so again, and hopefully with a result.
Yeah, I think it's a strange one because of our nature, because we want to do things well and we want to compete. We were still down after the Birmingham game. Listen, we knew we'd played well. We knew we'd pushed them right to the end. But there's still a disappointment we'd got knocked out in the semi-final. And we need to feel that. I'd be disappointed if we didn't feel disappointment at getting beat. So, but there is, people will talk about all the time. Is how you handle yourself, how you compete. Because that's the one thing I think you can guarantee. You can't guarantee results, but you can guarantee your effort and your commitment and your body language, your decisions. And I think that's the one thing you've got to stay consistent to. And I think if the players do that, they'll come off the pitch, regardless of what's happened, going, well, I'd give them my best. I don't think there's any more than that. And you don't want to look back and regret, I should have gone for that. I should have tried this. I want the players just go and express themselves, and show what good players they are and what a good team they are. Yeah. And I thought we did that against Birmingham last year in that game. But ultimately, we want to win. And we didn't win that night. So, we have to keep it real about what we're here to try and do.
So you've never managed there, never played there. Have you been sort of, I don't know, scouting a team, anything like that there?
No, I went there as a commentary supporter back in the 80s. I don't know, it would have been mid-80s. before it's the ground it was now. But no, I think it's the one stadium that I never played or managed at because just missed which division they were in and where I was. So it's I'm looking forward to it because it looks an amazing stadium. The sheer scale of it and the atmosphere that they create there is, it's a different level, but it is like Valley Parade. You know what I mean? But obviously, probably 2.5 times as big. But you can still get the same atmosphere, and I think the players have always looked forward to playing in front of those atmospheres. We did it on Saturday. We do it at Valley Parade for a long time. So I think it'll have that same sort of feeling. So we're looking forward to it.
With Eddie, I mean, it's good when you see players coming up from League One to the Premier League, and it's same with managers, really, isn't it? His stories, it's a great story, isn't it? He managing Bournemouth in League One, and it showed what is possible. And there's a hell of a lot of good managers down there, isn't there?
Yeah, look, we all have to start somewhere, and it's one of those where I think the role he took. I think when he first took over at Bournemouth, I think they were bottom and points in administration, if I remember right, and everything. It was more like the survival of the club. But what he did after that was phenomenal, and he came to Burnley after a period at Bournemouth, then went back to Bournemouth and continued his success. So I think when you have examples like that, I think it's inspiring for managers at a lower level like myself, where if you can create a winning team and you can ride the wave of something, then whether you can, it can lead to whatever. And I think I want my players to believe in that. I know I believe in that. My own playing career, it took longer than most, but it gradually got there. And I think anything's possible in this game. That's what I love about this game. It's really it brings it down to basics, really, and anyone can do anything. But you have to put the work in. That's it. It doesn't just happen. You can't just not sort of recognise the amount of work that he would have done behind the scenes on the coaching pitch to actually achieve that success. And that's what we all do. We all work exceptionally hard to create success. But it's a brilliant level that he's got to, and he's proven many a year that he deserves to be there.
Yeah, I was going to ask you finally, it seems to be your group, you're very good at resetting. Like, you went to Cardiff and you've been back in on Monday and we've done that, forget it, the next one. Yeah. And even in another way, after the Doncaster game, there was no glum faces. No. Everyone got together and the police yourselves well, and that's the trick in a lot of respects, isn't it?
I think so. I think it is. I think as a staff we try to lead the way, but you need good players, good people in your squad to then continue that onto the training pitch, in the changing room, to continue that message. And I think we've done a lot of work in the last 18 months on recruiting characters and personalities and finding out about them as men, to understand that the many challenges you face in any football club, not just Bradford, that you have to have that character to come back, or then keep your ego down when it's going really well. And that's what I love about this group, and last year's group was really good at it, that we found that balance between being disappointed or happy at a result, and then understanding that when we're back at work, the same level of focus has to happen. And we'll the games we've won or lost before won't dictate what the result is tomorrow. We just have to go and work as hard as we always do to give ourselves the best chance.